When someone you care about finally reaches out after days, weeks, or even months of distance, it's not just a message. It's a pivotal moment that can redefine your entire connection. How you respond holds the power to either deepen the bond or push it further away. In relationships, these junctures are more than casual greetings. They're opportunities to rekindle warmth, reawaken curiosity, and remind both parties why they were drawn to each other in the first place. Yet too many people fail to seize this chance because they fall into familiar traps that sabotage the potential for deeper intimacy. By the end of this discussion, you'll know exactly how to navigate these moments and preserve the intrigue, respect, and affection essential for lasting love. Sometimes, the desire to respond immediately can be overwhelming, especially if you've been yearning for that connection. You might feel relief, excitement, or even a nervous anticipation that tempts you to bare your soul right away. This impulse is natural, but it can also be risky. When you pour everything out too quickly, you risk appearing desperate or overly invested, which can dull the sparkle of mystery that often keeps romantic attraction alive. The better strategy is to gather your thoughts, take a breath, and respond with a calm confidence that reflects the value you place on both yourself and the other person. This measured approach communicates that while you appreciate hearing from them, you're also in tune with your own well-being and pace. It sets a tone of mutual respect, letting the other person sense that they're not your entire universe, but they are welcome in it. This balance can reinvigorate their curiosity and remind them of the qualities that make you stand out. In a world where people often treat relationships like endless scrolling or quick fixes, taking your time to respond with care and composure can be the subtle spark that reignites the flame. When conversations resume after a period of silence or tension, it's easy to slip into over-explaining. You might feel compelled to justify your actions or prove how busy, interesting, or introspective you've been. But over-explaining can undermine the mystery and self-assurance that are so appealing in a romantic context. Every relationship, no matter how strong, benefits from a dash of intrigue, a sense that there's more to discover beneath the surface. Keeping explanations concise and genuine allows the other person to fill in some gaps with their own curiosity. They might wonder what you've been up to or what caused the shift in your tone, and that wondering can be a powerful force in reigniting their feelings. Over-explanation, on the other hand, can feel like an attempt to secure approval. When you steer clear of excessive detail, you show that you trust the other person to understand that you have a life, responsibilities, and priorities, just as they do. If they ask a direct question, like why you haven't reached out, you can always respond honestly without going into every nuance. Something as simple as "I've been taking time to focus on a few goals" is often enough. This balanced approach signals that while you respect their curiosity, you also respect your own journey. As both of you exchange ideas and updates, it fosters a healthier, more intriguing dynamic built on mutual interest and self-confidence. Feelings often run high when someone re-enters your life after a hiatus, and it's normal to feel a surge of emotion, be it excitement, relief, confusion, or even a tinge of resentment. But allowing these emotions to overtake your communication can lead to regret. Reacting with a gush of text about how much you've missed them might come across as needy, while meeting them with cold indifference or snark could push them away before you have a chance to rebuild what was lost. Taking a moment to pause and process your emotions is essential. It doesn't mean you're suppressing how you feel. It means you're respecting the fact that emotions need to be channeled thoughtfully to serve the relationship. Let your excitement or relief show in a balanced way. Acknowledge you're pleased to hear from them, but ensure your response is also grounded and measured. If you're experiencing frustration, approach the conversation with a willingness to hear them out instead of assuming the worst or launching into accusations. When you manage your emotions with care, you communicate self-awareness and maturity, qualities that naturally inspire respect. Being level-headed doesn't make you distant or aloof. It makes you an anchor. In many cases, that stability can encourage the other person to open up, fostering a deeper, more meaningful conversation that goes beyond a surface-level exchange of pleasantries. It's tempting to dive headfirst into analyzing why things went wrong if you've been in conflict or simply drifted apart. You might be eager to hash out past misunderstandings or find closure for unresolved feelings. However, leading with heavy topics can derail a potentially positive reconnection. If the other person starts with a friendly "how have you been?" and your immediate reply is a deep interrogation about past missteps, it creates tension instead of connection. Starting light doesn't mean you're dismissing what happened before. It means you're giving each other space to remember what was good between you. Often, a relaxed conversation about day-to-day life, shared interests, or new experiences can gently pave the way for more meaningful dialogue later. If the vibe remains positive and you both demonstrate a genuine effort to listen, you'll find a more natural opening for deeper conversations that address past issues without choking the rekindled spark. By keeping things casual and warm at the outset, you're showing you value the chance to reconnect. You're indicating that the purpose of this renewed contact isn't merely to argue or solve old problems, but to see if there's still something worth nurturing. In the end, this balanced approach helps both parties feel safer about being open and honest. It's a stepping stone toward building a stronger, more empathetic relationship. Reconnecting after a silence can make one partner feel pressured to place the spotlight entirely on the other. Questions like, "How are you? What have you been up to?" might flow rapidly as you try to show interest and concern. While it's great to show that you care, making the conversation entirely one-sided can unintentionally reduce your own presence to that of a supportive listener rather than an equal participant in the relationship. A balanced exchange is far more compelling. Share updates about your life. Mention new hobbies you've picked up, any milestones you've achieved, or personal insights you've gained. When you open up about what's happening in your world, you remind them that you're a person of substance, with aspirations and experiences that matter. This can reignite their curiosity and admiration, prompting them to ask more about what you've been doing, which in turn keeps the spark alive on both sides. Centering the conversation around mutual experiences and questions transforms it from an interrogation into a genuine exchange. Remember, love and attraction often thrive when both individuals maintain their unique identities while also exploring what they can create and share together. By balancing your interest in the other person with a willingness to share your own growth, you foster a space where connection feels reciprocal. And that's one of the healthiest foundations for lasting intimacy. When someone reappears in your life, it's natural to hope that the reason is love, longing, or at least a desire to mend old wounds. Yet, making assumptions about their motives can set you up for disappointment. They might be reaching out for emotional support to soothe their own guilt, or simply out of curiosity. Assuming they want a full-blown reunion can lead you to pour your heart out prematurely or place expectations that the other person isn't ready to fulfill. The wise move is to maintain a neutral but open attitude. Greet their message or call with sincerity, but avoid projecting grand romantic intentions onto a simple hello. Let their actions demonstrate what they truly want. Do they follow up with thoughtful questions, genuine apologies, or attempts to see you face to face? Are they consistent in communication? Or do they vanish once again after exchanging a few pleasantries? Observing their behavior gives you more accurate insights than guessing. This approach also helps you stay grounded. When you refrain from assuming, you protect your emotional well-being. You're not setting yourself up for heartbreak by fantasizing about fairy tale endings, and you're not launching into defensive mode by presuming the worst. You're simply responding to them in the present moment, letting the relationship develop or dissolve according to genuine effort rather than imagined possibilities. Past dynamics have a way of creeping back in when two people reconnect. Maybe you used to be the one who always apologized first or rearranged your schedule at the drop of a hat. Perhaps you used to withhold your feelings to avoid conflict. Whatever your old pattern was, resist slipping back into it automatically. If the other person senses that nothing has changed, they might lose respect or interest quickly. Instead, take this chance to show how you've grown. If you once avoided voicing your needs, try calmly expressing them this time. If you are known for being too accommodating, demonstrate that you value your own time and boundaries. That shift can be intriguing and refreshing, and it might encourage the other person to meet you at a higher level of emotional honesty and respect. Growth isn't proven by words alone. It's revealed by consistent actions. So if they ask you to drop everything and meet on short notice, but that doesn't work for you, politely decline or propose an alternative. This balanced stance lets them know you're interested, but also mindful of your own obligations and well-being. It helps you establish a healthier, more sustainable rapport, one where both people's needs and boundaries are respected. It's normal to be excited when someone reaches out, but excitement shouldn't blind you to red flags. Sometimes the other person's messages are vague, sporadic, or manipulative. Maybe they only text late at night, or they avoid direct questions about how they truly feel. These patterns could indicate that their intentions aren't aligned with genuine love or commitment. Pay attention to the consistency and depth of their engagement. Do they dismiss your interests, ignore your concerns, or make you feel uncertain about where you stand? If so, you have every right to address those issues. It's often best to bring up such concerns gently, giving them space to clarify before jumping to conclusions. For instance, a soft check-in. I notice you don't really respond when I bring up certain topics. Is something bothering you? Can reveal whether there's room for improvement or if you should tread carefully. Acknowledging red flags isn't about picking a fight. It's about safeguarding your own emotional health. You want a relationship where your voice is heard, your feelings are respected, and your presence is genuinely valued. If the other person consistently brushes off your concerns or behaves in ways that undermine trust and respect, you owe it to yourself to reassess whether this connection is worth nurturing. Sometimes, despite the longing you've felt, the conversations you've had, or the attempts you've made, it becomes clear that rekindling a genuine bond isn't in the cards. It might be that the other person is still distant, unwilling to address issues, or is only half-heartedly engaging in the exchange. Knowing when to walk away can be incredibly empowering, especially if staying would only drag you into a cycle of confusion and unmet expectations. Walking away isn't about punishing the other person or playing games. It's about preserving your self-worth. If they show inconsistency, like continually canceling plans or giving mixed signals, step back with grace. You could say something simple yet clear, like, I value what we had, but I need more consistency than this. By doing so, you signal that you're open to healthy connection, but not desperate for any form of attention. It may feel painful in the short term, especially if you pinned your hopes on a romantic reunion or a renewed sense of closeness. Yet in many cases, walking away can be the catalyst that either prompts them to realize what they're losing or sets you free to find someone who meets you at your level. Far from being a defeat, walking away can be an act of profound self-respect that opens the door to relationships where love and appreciation flow naturally. Thank you for taking the time to explore these insights into romance and reconnecting after distance. If you found these perspectives helpful, consider sharing them with someone who might benefit from a balanced approach to navigating love and relationships. True connection thrives when both partners value each other's growth, maintain healthy boundaries, and communicate with sincerity. Embracing these principles can make all the difference in whether a renewed spark becomes a lasting flame or simply fades away once more. Remember, you deserve a relationship that respects your worth, honors your feelings, and propels you both toward deeper understanding. Keep these concepts in mind, and you'll be well on your way to building the kind of love story that feels both comforting and exhilarating.